Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. Vox Agent is made by AI for business executives that work with AI. Today we're cutting through the noise on a topic that's really vital for every executive navigating the AI landscape. We're talking about measuring return on investment, or ROI, in AI-powered enterprise software projects. Our mission, well, it's to distill the core insights and quickly make you genuinely well-informed.
And it's a mission that couldn't be more urgent, really. Right now, every business leader embracing AI is feeling the heat to show real, measurable value. I mean, think about it. Global AI spending is projected to almost triple between 2022 and 2027. That's a staggering amount of capital. And CEOs and CFOs are quite rightly demanding clear proof of its worth.
Yeah, we've seen so many past AI initiatives get stuck in what people call pilot purgatory, right? They just never move beyond those experimental stages because the business benefits were just too fuzzy.
Exactly. And in fact, nearly half of all executives cite proving generative AI's business value as their biggest hurdle right now.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Despite those challenges, success stories are definitely emerging. Our research reveals that actually 74% of organizations are reporting their advanced AI initiatives are meeting or even exceeding ROI expectations, particularly in areas like, say, IT operations and cybersecurity.
But there's a flip side.
There is. There's this significant widening chasm. Only about, 4% of companies have truly achieved cutting-edge AI capabilities at scale, while a huge 74% have yet to show tangible value from their investments. So this deep dive is definitely for you if you want to be firmly on the winning side of that gap.
Precisely. Throughout this deep dive, we'll explore exactly what ROI means for AI projects. We'll look at the practical strategies leading companies are using to measure it, dive into some compelling real-world examples, and we'll also candidly discuss the inherent challenges involved. Ultimately, you'll see why effective ROI measurement isn't just some finance exercise. It's really a strategic imperative for every enterprise today.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We all kind of know the basic ROI formula. Total benefits minus total cost divided by total costs times 100. Simple, right? But what if I told you that for AI initiatives, that traditional formula often just falls short? Our sources reveal measuring ROI for AI is far more complex than for traditional IT projects. What truly stands out is how unique AI is in this regard.
You're absolutely right. There are several unique characteristics that redefine how we should probably measure AI ROI. First, there's a significant time discrepancy. The costs, things like data infrastructure, hiring specialized data scientists, or those hefty cloud compute bills, they're usually immediate. They're upfront.
Right, you pay now.
Exactly. But the benefits,
Yeah.
they may accrue much later and often irregularly. An AI system might need months of training and refinement before it starts yielding significant improvements. That makes the timing of those returns a real challenge. It's kind of like investing in a long-term education. You pay tuition now, but the career benefits might not be visible for years.
That's a good analogy. And what else makes it so different?
Well, then there's the inherent uncertainty of outcomes. AI's impact can be more stochastic. That means it's driven by probability, not always a direct linear cause and effect.
So less predictable.
Much less predictable. Think of it more like a probabilistic outcome with a range of possible results rather than a guaranteed one. Model performance can vary, user adoption isn't guaranteed, and external factors heavily influence the results.
Okay, and you mentioned hard versus soft benefits earlier.
Yes, exactly. AI projects produce both direct monetary impacts, what we call hard benefits, like revenue increases or cost savings, and also intangible, non-monetized improvements are soft benefits. These include things like improved customer satisfaction, faster decision-making, maybe better analytics insights, or even employee upskilling. For AI, these soft factors can be just as critical, which means ROI often needs a much broader definition that captures strategic value beyond just the hard dollars saved.
And this isn't just theoretical, is it? The research shows that in the early days of enterprise AI, back in the mid-2010s, well, a lot of projects were highly experimental. ROI wasn't rigorously measured. Success was often just, getting a prototype to work at all.
Right. And that led to a pretty sobering statistic. An estimated 70% to 85% of AI projects failed to deliver the expected results, or worse, went completely unused.
Wow, 70 to 85%, that's stark.
It is. But thankfully, there's been a significant shift towards accountability. By 2024, Gartner even placed generative AI in its trough of disillusionment. That period where the initial hype dies down and companies face the hard reality of implementation and actually realizing value.
So the honeymoon phase is over.
Pretty much. Those lofty expectations are giving way to clear demands for real ROI, Boards are increasingly asking for detailed ROI projections before they'll even greenlight AI budgets now.
Okay, so the core takeaway for you, our listener, as an executive. For AI, ROI isn't just a single percentage. It's more like a comprehensive, multifaceted scorecard. It measures how an AI solution contributes to your overall business objectives. That includes the financial returns, sure, but also efficiency gains, risk mitigation, and achieving a competitive advantage. Grasping that broader picture is really your true starting line for strategic AI investment. So, given this complexity, how do the leading organizations actually go about measuring AI ROI? Our research highlights some really practical strategies. They treat AI investments with the same rigor as any major capital project.
Yeah, and the most effective strategies truly begin before implementation even starts. First, you absolutely need to define clear goals and KPIs. This means pinpointing the specific business problems the AI project is intended to solve. Then, you set measurable key performance indicators, KPIs, directly tied to those goals. Things like cost per transaction or maybe customer churn rate or error rates, for example.
So, specificity is key right from the outset.
Absolutely. And second, you need to establish baselines and track incremental gains. You have to measure your current performance for each of those KPIs before you deploy the AI. For instance, what's your current process time or error rate without the AI? Then, you rigorously track improvements against that baseline. That's how you quantify the AI's precise impact.
Okay, so you're building a really clear before and after picture, but you're also being highly specific about what you're measuring. What else goes into this rigorous approach?
Well, you absolutely must account for all costs and benefits, and that means both hard and soft. You need to adopt a total cost of ownership view. That includes the one-time development costs, ongoing infrastructure like cloud bills, training, maintenance, all of it.
The whole life cycle costs.
Exactly. And on the return side, you capture those hard benefits, labor hours saved, increased revenue, things like that. But you also need to try and quantify the soft benefits, like improved customer satisfaction or faster decision-making. Sometimes that requires surveys or estimations, but you need it for a complete picture.
Okay, that makes sense. Capture everything. What's next?
Fourth, you need to use rigorous financial metrics. Translate those benefits into familiar financial terms, things like ROI percentage, of course, but also net present value, NPV, of the expected cash flows, and the payback period. You should incorporate discount rates and sensitivity analyses, too, to account for uncertainty.
Right, the standard financial toolkit.
Yes. And here's a critical one that often gets overlooked. Consider a do-nothing scenario. Sometimes it's called risk of non-investment, or RNNI. This basically highlights the opportunity cost of not pursuing the AI solution, what you stand to lose by standing still.
Oh, I like that. The RNI, risk of non-investment, it really puts the stakes into perspective, doesn't it? What's the final piece of the puzzle for these measurement strategies?
The final key strategy is implement continuous monitoring and adjustment. This is crucial for AI. Unlike a lot of traditional IT, AI performance can evolve or even degrade over time. That could be due to things like data drift or maybe changing user behavior.
So it's not set it and forget it.
Definitely not. You need to track ROI continuously. Monitor model accuracy, keep an eye on those business KPIs over months and years. And crucially, you have to budget for model updates and maintenance to sustain that ROI. This ongoing approach ensures the ROI remains positive throughout the AI solution's entire lifecycle.
We've talked strategies, but here's where it gets really granular. And perhaps surprisingly, the architecture of your AI system isn't just some technical detail. It sounds like it's a direct driver of ROI. How exactly does building it right translate to actual value?
Absolutely. It's fundamental. Each layer of an AI system, from the data pipelines to the machine learning models themselves, the integration points, user interfaces, even governance, each layer has associated investments. And critically, each has value contributions.
Okay, break that down for us. Let's start with the data.
Right. Data infrastructure. This is the absolute foundation. It's often a significant upfront cost, hardware, cloud storage, data engineering talent. But high-quality data is what fuels the AI algorithms. And a well-architected data layer can actually reduce ongoing costs and enable reuse across multiple AI use cases. That lets you amortize that initial investment. Gartner, for instance, predicts companies with integrated data ecosystems will realize twice the AI business value by 2025.
Twice the value just from better data architecture. Wow. Okay, what about the models themselves?
Machine learning AI models. Well, development and deployment are core costs here. You might have large models that are highly accurate, but they can be incredibly expensive to train and run. So the ROI here truly depends on the outcomes they generate relative to that cost. And crucially, having modular MLOps pipelines, that's basically the standardized way we build and manage AI models, allows for their reuse and rapid adaptation. That cuts down on redundant work significantly.
Makes sense. Build it smart, reuse it often. What about getting the AI's output into the business?
That's integration and deployment, and it's often underestimated. Robust integration is what transforms AI outputs, like predictions, into actual business actions. Think about AI predictions flowing into a logistics system to optimize routes automatically. An IDC study actually found that companies with comprehensive integration strategies achieve 40% faster time to value on their AI projects.
40% faster just by focusing on integration.
Okay.
And the users.
Critical point. User interface and adoption. You can have a brilliant AI model, but if user adoption is poor, the ROI will be incredibly low. So design for usability and seamless workflow integration is absolutely crucial. You need to be tracking adoption rates and usage statistics. They are key indicators of whether value is actually being realized.
And the last layer, governance.
Yes, the governance, security, and compliance layer. Now, these might seem like just overhead costs, but they actively prevent costly failures, legal issues, or reputational damage. So they contribute significantly to soft ROI. For instance, a compliant AI system avoids regulatory fines. That's a direct financial save. And it preserves customer trust, which is an indirect but incredibly powerful value.
Okay, so the clear implication here for you as an executive, measuring ROI isn't just an afterthought you slap on at the end of a project. Not at all. It's something you really have to design for from the very beginning. Building in the instrumentation, the data collection right from the start, ensuring your entire AI strategy is intrinsically linked to measurable business value. But the real test, of course, is in the results. The data is packed with compelling real-world examples of AI delivering tangible ROI across different industries. Let's make this concrete.
Indeed. Let's look at customer service. One large telecom company used AI chatbots, right? They resolved 4.5 million queries in just 6 months. That saved them $2.1 million annually in labor costs. They saw a payback period of under a year and a 2-year ROI of about 150%.
Wow.
And similarly, PayPal achieved impressive ROI by cutting its fraud loss rates by almost half using AI. That prevented tens of millions in fraud losses.
Those are staggering numbers. What about in other departments where AI might seem maybe less obvious, like HR?
Good question. In human resources, one company used an AI resume screening tool. It saved them 4,000 hours of manual review in just 1 year. That equated to about $120,000 annually, and their time to fill positions also dropped by 15%.
Okay, so efficiency gains there. What about operations, supply chain?
Big impacts there too, supply chain and operations. Rastelli Food Group used an AI-driven planning tool. They recovered $3 million from excess inventory and saved an additional $250,000 annually. That yielded an astounding 927% ROI, with a payback period of just half a month.
927%. That's incredible.
It is. Another example, a manufacturing firm implemented an AI predictive maintenance system. It reduced unplanned downtime by 40 hours, gained them $500,000 in additional output, and they avoided $200,000 in repair costs. That was a 100% first-year ROI.
It really seems like AI is truly optimizing operations right across the board. Any quick examples from finance or healthcare?
Absolutely. In finance and risk management, one bank's AI fraud detection system cut losses by 60%. That saved them $6 million a year. It demonstrated a 40% first-year ROI and an incredible 600% annual ROI in the subsequent years.
600% annual ROI.
Yeah. And we also saw an example in healthcare. One study showed an AI radiology platform delivering a 451% ROI over 5 years. And that rose to 791% when they included the value of radiologist time savings.
These numbers are just incredibly compelling. They really paint a picture of tangible benefits across the board. But it's not always a straight line to success, is it? Our sources also reveal there are significant challenges and limitations when you try to measure AI ROI.
You're right, and these are crucial to address head-on. One big challenge is attribution and causality. It's incredibly tough to isolate the AI's exact impact from other things happening at the same time, other parallel initiatives. If sales increase, how much was the AI versus, say, a new marketing campaign?
Right, teasing those effects apart.
Exactly. It's like trying to figure out which ingredient in a complex recipe made the dish delicious. It's hard. Then there's the time lag we talked about. Costs are up front, but benefits are often delayed and cumulative. So projects can sometimes be deemed failures prematurely before they've had a chance to deliver.
And what about those soft benefits?
That's another hurdle, quantifying intangibles. Putting a precise dollar value on something like improved decision quality or employee morale is inherently difficult, and that difficulty can potentially lead to undervaluing projects that are focused on strategic, non-monetary benefits.
So it's not just the AI itself, but the whole context and all the other moving parts that really complicate things. And what about the data needed to even do the measurement?
Exactly. And ironically, data quality and availability can be a major limitation for measuring AI ROI itself. Many companies simply lack the reliable data on costs and outcomes needed to establish accurate baselines in the first place.
The data problem strikes again.
It often does. Plus, remember, these are dynamic and evolving systems. AI models change over time. They might degrade or improve. That makes ROI a constantly moving target if you're not continuously tracking it. You also have to consider risk and uncertainty factors, things you didn't plan for.
Like what?
Well, unforeseen risks like algorithmic bias suddenly appearing, or maybe new regulatory changes coming into effect. These can introduce negative costs that weren't accounted for in the initial ROI calculation.
Okay. And beyond the technical and the data-driven aspects, what about the people side, the human element in all of this?
That brings us to cultural and organizational challenges. These can be just as difficult. Things like resistance to accountability, maybe misaligned incentives between departments, or just an organizational focus on short-term results. All of these can derail accurate measurement and ultimately impact the realization of benefits. For example, if AI saves an employee time, but that freed up time isn't then redeployed to higher value tasks, well, the financial benefit might not actually materialize as expected on the bottom line.
Right, the value gets lost in the shuffle. So the takeaway for you as an executive seems to be, look, while perfection in ROI calculation probably isn't possible, good enough, estimates that are directionally correct, those can still enable informed decision-making. Don't let the quest for absolute precision paralyze you. Instead, iterate. Refine your analyses as more data becomes available. The goal is progress, right? Not perfection. So we've covered the why AI ROI is complex and the how to measure it, and we've navigated some of the big challenges. But what are the really big picture implications for you as a tech-savvy business executive? What's the strategic ROI of, well, measuring ROI itself?
The ROI of ROI. Well, the implications are pretty far-reaching, actually. First, it enables much better strategic decision-making. Measuring ROI forces AI initiatives to align tightly with strategic goals. It allows the C-suite to prioritize projects that clearly create value and, importantly, gain significant buy-in across the organization. It gives executives a clear line of sight from AI activity right through to business KPIs.
So it aligns everyone and focuses investment.
Exactly. Second, it's vital for budgeting and financial planning. CFOs can use proper ROI estimates to justify AI budgets, or sometimes to limit them if the value isn't clear. And we see that companies that systematically track AI ROI are actually more likely to increase their overall investment in AI because they can point to proven success.
And it sounds like this drives a significant cultural shift within an organization, too.
Absolutely. It really shifts the culture away from mere innovation theater doing AI because it's trendy towards tangible value delivery. Business unit leaders become far more engaged when their own KPIs are directly impacted by AI. It transforms AI from just an IT or R&D concern into a joint business IT effort.
Yeah.
And, celebrating those high ROI projects, that really motivates teams.
Makes sense. It builds momentum.
It does. This also builds accountability and knowledge. Each project has clear owners accountable for outcomes, not just deliverables. And tracking ROI over time creates this valuable repository of lessons learned, which helps refine where to focus future AI efforts. And crucially, it provides a powerful competitive advantage. Companies that measure ROI effectively are just much more likely to scale the successful uses of AI and pull ahead of competitors who might still be stuck in that pilot stage.
Okay, looking ahead then, what's the future look like for AI ROI measurement? What emerging trends should we as executives be watching for?
Well, the practice is evolving really rapidly. We'll likely see greater standardization of AI value metrics, probably something more like financial accounting standards, which would help with comparability and reporting across different companies and industries.
Like gap for AI value.
Sort of, yeah. We'll also see more organizations implementing real-time ROI dashboards and AI-driven analytics. These could provide up-to-the-minute ROI estimates for major AI systems, accessible right on an executive's dashboard. Imagine AI actually being used to measure the ROI of other AI systems.
That's pretty meta.
It is. Also, expect multidimensional ROI frameworks. These would integrate financial, operational, customer, and strategic metrics into a single unified evaluation. moving beyond just one percentage figure to a much more comprehensive value profile.
That sounds like a much richer, more holistic way to understand the true value. What else is on the horizon?
I think there will be a greater emphasis on ROI, that risk of non-investment we mentioned. Companies will get better at quantifying the opportunity cost of not doing AI, adding a really important strategic layer to those investment discussions. AI ROI metrics could also become part of regular enterprise performance management systems. You might see them formalized into annual AI value reports, just like financial reports.
So really embedding it into the business rhythm.
Exactly. We might also see innovations in valuing data and AI assets themselves. Perhaps treating datasets and trained AI models as actual balance sheet assets, even if just internally. That could fundamentally change how ROI is accounted for. And finally, as emerging AI applications like advanced generative AI, agentic AI, edge AI become more mainstream, they'll bring their own unique ROI considerations. That will drive the need for new metrics like maybe content quality scores or workflow automation value, things like that.
Okay, so the ultimate message here for you as an executive, it seems pretty clear. In maybe 3-5 years, talking about AI ROI will likely be as common as discussing sales growth or profit margins in executive meetings. The message is what gets measured gets managed. And when it comes to AI in the enterprise, what gets managed effectively can fundamentally transform the business for the better.
Absolutely. The ability to evaluate and clearly articulate AI's value will truly be a core competency for successful enterprises going forward.
It's really about ensuring that the infusion of AI into your enterprise software is guided by value creation at every single step. By adopting these kinds of strategies, you can invest in AI not just because it's buzzworthy, but because it demonstrably furthers the mission and the performance of your organization. That's it for this deep dive. Thank you for joining the podcast, and see you soon.